am in the process of putting together my antique brooder that I've used for the last several years. And I realize I probably never made a video showing how this thing goes together. It's about, just knocking on 90 degrees here. But we'll go ahead and take a walk around. Essentially, you've got these uprights on the ends, and you can tell the bolts have been changed out over the years. Then you have these covers, which I can't get this one slid all the way down because of the changed bolts it's hitting, but I'll show you what they look like on the back here, because I have the complete ones on the back. So there's a long one, and then there's a shorter one, and it completes the edge of the leg and helps reinforce it. Now the top is basically more or less the same material as what you use for your dropping pans. It's just been reversed, bent a little different, and then bolted together. I cut some angle iron down here on the ends and ran it across for some extra support. This thing is pretty much complete, to be honest. There's a couple pieces that need repaired, a couple pieces that need fixed. There's the manufacturer plate. So if anybody knows when these things were made, that would be really cool to find out. All I can tell you is it's old enough that it's got square nuts on the bolts. Now, basically this whole thing's meant to be broken down into sections, and when I got it, the frame itself actually was in two sections, which had to be bolted together here. So your first three units were one section, and then your top two units were another section. Your heater is this long rectangle that you see going through the side here. It is supported by a metal dowel on each end. On this end, we'll call this the front end. The dowel has to run underneath of this piece of denim, which then attaches to this triangular piece, which then attaches to this rod that runs the length of it. On the back end, however, you actually have to run it opposite and put it under the denim, and basically between this pull chain and this crank, that's how you adjust your heater going up and down. Now, to keep the chicks from getting on top of it, they've got these little side panels, and those literally just slide up alongside of it like it's nothing. Now, to keep those in place, then you have these pieces here. Okay, so this side panel is held in place against your heater by this wire panel. This wire panel has a little piece right there, and that goes down into the gap in the frame, and then the wire part fits in the gap in the frame above it. This piece here is actually so that you can divide each level into two pieces. You can kind of see, and it really sucks to try and get it in there, but there's a little hole at the bottom of your heater on both sides. That hole corresponds to the tab sticking out right there, which is adjusted by pulling down on this. When you're not using that divider, it slides down in the frame and basically drops down into the gap created by these side curtains and your heater below it. So effectively, this can be a 10 unit brooder. Now, your waterers, which I got to pull these and clean, are on the ends. They basically drop down into just a little bracket, and then you've got this panel here which pulls up and pops out so that you can take the water out. When you're using it, it fits down in these little brackets, or these little teeth on the sides of your waterer. So you can adjust it depending on how big a heads the chicks are on this thing. The other nice thing about it is each heater has its own extension cord, so you can plug and unplug each one individually as you're using it. I do not have the heater in the very bottom one right now because I got to do some minor repairs to it, but once I get that one in, this thing will be basically put together. So you've got your heater situation all put together here. Next thing is your dividers here in the center to keep all this together. And then you can start moving on to your floors. So your wire rack goes on this rib here, and your dropping pan goes in this rib here, as you can see right next to it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to slide those in. So your wire floor has ribs on it for support. Those go on the underside. Okay, so that's how your floor goes in. Then for the dropping pan, you've got two different style sides. You got one that's pretty straight, and you got one that's kind of flared out. The flared out one is the one that goes to the outside. So that goes in like that, and there you go. So now your floor is installed. So the next step is going to be to put your feeder and your side panels on. The side panels come in two pieces, and the feeder comes in two pieces. So with your feeder, you've got this red wire piece, you've got the actual feed container itself. The way this works is this piece sits down in here like this, and then on the side you've got adjustment holes, again, for the different head sizes. I'm going to go ahead and put this in the third hole and do the same over here. Now your feeder is all put together. So let's go ahead and put that inside of here. There's these little tabs right here. These tabs sit on tabs on the frame. Okay, just like that, now your feeder's secured. The last step is to put your side panel in. Now the side panels are two pieces, again, but they're identical. Just looks like that there. It's got a little hook on the side. That is your top. If you look up here on the frame, you've got 4 holes, and you just hang them just like that. And you put your other one on just like this. Then you got, so after you put your panels in, you got to push down on your feeder so that those legs catch in this little lip right here. Now everything's locked in place. So basically, That's all you got to do to put it together, and then you just repeat the steps for every single one. Overall, this brooder works really well. The principles of it are no different than the ones at Tractor Supply that certain somebody's petition recently got them to quit using them. There is a learning curve to using them. Not saying there isn't, but once you know how to use them, they work great. They save space. They're easy to clean. The biggest downfall I have with these is I haven't figured out a really good way to get the chicks moved out of them into the next growing pen. Basically, I don't know, I'm thinking about putting making some kind of crowd gate that I can slip into, and then maybe an adjustable frame that I can throw a cage on and just herd them into the cage. Maybe this year, after hatching season's done, I'll get some of these welds repaired. We'll see. As far as cleaning the dropping pans go, I don't put paper down on them or anything like that. I just scrape them off, let them air dry, and repeat the process each time. The birds are not in physical contact with them. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, disinfecting's a great thing. I'm just saying, give these a little quick broom off from the cobwebs and everything from being in storage over winter. But I cleaned everything good and proper this past fall, so not super concerned about getting out the soap this time. As you can see, it goes back together really quick once you get the hang of it. So basically, You know, bottom section obviously notwithstanding, that's how it looks completed. So water on the front and back, feed rails down the side. And I mean, you try to, they're not getting out. You gotta push this and rock it to get in there. So, thank you for watching, and hope your hatching is going good this season.